I don't know about you, but my mouth is watering. Thank you for tuning in for another week of What's for Dinner. This Italian meal that I'm going to show you guys was completely delicious. One of the very best meals that I have made in a long time. A new recipe, actually 2 new recipes. Delicious. You do not want to click off of this video if nothing else but to see this delicious Italian meal. Also, plenty of other great recipes after this particular one is done. Stay tuned to the end. There's a lot of good stuff on this one, guys. We're going to jump right on in. Alright, let's get started on one of these pasta dishes that I made for family night. I tried out a new recipe for ravioli lasagna. It was the hit of the night. Both were delicious, but the ravioli lasagna was really over the top, and I am looking forward to making it again. What I'm starting off with here for my meat sauce was a frozen batch that I had made probably a few months back, a double batch, stuck half of it in the freezer to use for the next time around that I needed it. So I pulled that out, and you can see here just by looking at it, it is full of such yummy stuff. It was a homemade sauce. I had fresh tomatoes. I used fresh zucchini, onion, and there was some ground beef. All the seasonings, of course. To that, I am adding in some jarred pasta sauce because I need a little bit more for this ravioli lasagna. So I'm going to mix these two together, and that's going to be the sauce. Okay, and into the bottom of my baking dish, I'm going to put a layer of my meat sauce down, and then I'm just going to layer on the top my ravioli. My next layer will be my ricotta and then some shredded cheese, and then I'll just do it all over again to make this ravioli lasagna. And here it is, all out of the oven. This bakes for about 45 minutes. The first 30 minutes covered, the last 15 minutes uncovered, and as always, the full recipe will be down below. I think I already mentioned that I am making these wonderful pasta dishes for family night. That is the night every Wednesday night during the week. Our grown children, our 3 sons and their wives, and our grandsons come over and we have dinner together. And so I am making even a more extra special meal tonight because it was our daughter-in-law Hope's birthday. And so I asked her what she wanted for her birthday, and she said she thought pasta sounded great. So I wanted to just come up with some fun stuff. She also loves shrimp. So this here, I'm just basically freestyling. I am just coming up with something based on like a shrimp scampi type of situation with a creamy sauce. So an alfredo sauce, if you will, served over pasta. So I'm sure you've all made something similar to this. So I'm just kind of freestyling, doing it as I am thinking of it. So I started off with some butter, some garlic powder, some parsley, some salt, and I am just cooking up these shrimp. I'm going to remove these from the pan. And let me give you a look here at the delicious sauce already in progress. So I kept all of that delicious broth that came off of the shrimp in the pan. I added just a little bit of flour as a thickener, and then I added in the normal ingredients to use to make an alfredo sauce. Now, the color that you see there is from this chili onion crunch. This is purchased at Trader Joe's, and you saw already earlier in the clip of the homemade garlic bread that I added that there as well. It is very flavorful and delicious. It's very versatile and you can use it in a lot of ways. So I just decided, why not put a little bit in my sauce here to give it some delicious flavor, and that it did. Then I just added in the other usual ingredients. Half and half instead of heavy cream, and some Parmesan cheese. Next, I just used this delicious fresh basil, and I just tore that into pieces after my sauce had already come together, and that's going to provide some flavor and some color. And next, we're just going to stir in the shrimp. And there you have it. The sauce with the shrimp added back in has warmed all the way through. My pasta is cooked and drained, and we are just going to pour this over top. This was so rich and flavorful, very decadent, very creamy. No shortage of shrimp. I wanted to make sure there was plenty for everyone. Just use the rest of that basil to top this off. This was restaurant quality, delicious. I will type up the recipe below, and if you like shrimp pasta with some creamy sauce, you need to make this one for sure. So now the gang's all here. I've pulled my ravioli lasagna out of the oven. Look at this. I cannot say enough good things about how delicious the ravioli lasagna was. Here's the garlic bread. I left one plain, and then the other one I used the little delicious flavorful seasoning from Trader Joe's, the onion crunch. And here's a look at the rest of our dinner. We had a salad with all of the toppings. Once the family gets here, my complete attention is on them, and sometimes I don't get the best quality of clips, but just know that this was a delicious dinner. All right, for dinner tonight, we are having beef vegetable soup. This is a real-life cooking clip. In the background, you can hear my husband James teaching our little 4-year-old grandson Henry how to play the game of Trouble. So that's what's going on in the background. But look at the soup just bubbling away. This is actually the first time I have ever made beef vegetable soup with ground beef instead of like a beef roast. That's what I normally use. But I didn't have a beef roast and I did have ground beef. This is using a lot of our garden produce, green beans, our yellow squash, onions, tomatoes, cabbage. This is stock full of garden goodness. I love making a soup and being able to use all these fresh, delicious things. This was a cool day and it was a perfect day to get a big pot of soup on the stove, so that was what was for dinner tonight. I love it on Saturdays when James can stick a big slab of ribs on the smoker. So these have been off the smoker for a little bit. They're kind of cooling off just a little, and I am making some macaroni and cheese. I have bought this bag of mac and cheese blend, sharp cheddar, Gouda, and Asiago cheese before, and didn't use it for mac and cheese. So I definitely wanted to use that for mac and cheese this time around. I'm simply boiling up some elbow noodles. I'm going to, and after they're drained, I'm going to add in a little butter, a little milk, and the shredded cheese for a simple mac and cheese. James actually said these were some of the best mac and cheese he'd ever had. And of course I told him those were some of the best ribs I've ever had. It was a delicious lunch. We had a salad on the side and we had leftovers. It was a win-win for a great Saturday lunch. Well, today's dinner is going to be egg roll in a bowl, and right now it's all about the purple. We have some chopped purple onion and some chopped purple cabbage. So the recipe calls for about 6 or so cups of cabbage. I don't make this with purple cabbage. I never have before, but we grew purple cabbage and regular in our garden this year. This is what I had in the house. The other's out in the barn refrigerator, and I thought, you know, I'm not quite sure how this will turn up as far as the look goes, but I know it will work perfectly as far as taste, because cabbage tastes like cabbage. So this is shredded up. I've got my onion chopped. The same thing there. I rarely cook with red onion. We usually eat this raw on sandwiches and salads, things like that. But this was already in my refrigerator, peeled and ready to go. So I thought, okay, we're going to chop that up. We're going to go with red onion and red cabbage. Purple onion, purple cabbage. I am going to use, let me show you here. The recipe that I follow, I've got some bright sunlight coming through here, calls for breakfast sausage, and I know I would like that better, but I have this that needs to be used, and then I have a lot of seasonings. I have sage, I have pepper, I have all kinds of things that I can use to flavor this. This will also cut the calories some, so there's nothing wrong with that. I bought this to make some chicken patties a good while back, and I haven't gotten around to it. I want to use this today and get this out of the freezer. So this is going to be my meat. I'm going to use this whole pound, and then I will just continue showing you as I go along with this egg roll in the bowl. I also decided to make some fried rice. So I have my rice already cooked. Instead of my rice cooker, I just went ahead and just did it here on the pan, in the pan. on the stove, and it's pretty much cooled down. I'll stick this in the refrigerator here shortly to be cold, because fried rice turns out wonderfully when the rice is cold. So I got that prepped ahead as well. And I've been saying for quite some time now, I am really making a valiant effort to work through things in my freezer, because our beef is coming. It is now here by the time this video goes up. But we had grilled up some chicken a while back and just had too much. I stuck some couple tenders in the freezer. Those were perfect for today to go in our fried rice. So that's going to be our chicken for our chicken fried rice. And now I'm going to begin spooning in the cold rice that I cooked earlier and get this all heated together. And in one of the final steps towards the end, we will add the egg, and we'll also add some peas and carrots. Meanwhile, for our egg roll in a bowl, we are going to brown up the ground chicken. It takes no time at all. It's very, very lean, and it fries up really, really quickly. So I just have some cooking spray in the pan, and I'm using my chopper tool from Pampered Chef to get that all broken up, while that just takes a few minutes to fry up. Since I really love the flavor of using breakfast sausage in this recipe, and I used ground chicken instead, I'm adding in sage and black pepper to kind of mimic the flavors that you would have in a breakfast sausage. There's just a whole lot of adding in various things, tasting to see if you have it seasoned right, and stirring and cooking on this type of recipe. Now my red onions and my red cabbage, or purple onion, purple cabbage, whatever you want to call it, that has been added in, and we're going to let that simmer for a few minutes and add just a few other ingredients. I have added in some shredded carrot, and for the flavors that really signify that this is an Asian dish are the following ones that I'm about to use. I have had this teriyaki sauce in the refrigerator for a while. I've just been using it a little bit here and there. I won't repurchase this because it's super salty, but I am happy to finish it off tonight. So I put just a little dab of that in there. And then this is my first time to use liquid aminos. It is a soy sauce substitute. So I added a little bit of that in there. And then for the final delicious flavor, that is sesame oil. That really gives you a great Asian flavor. So as I said, just some tasting as I go along, just to be sure the flavor profile is on target. I do not want to get this too salty. After tasting that time, I felt like it needed just a little more flavor, so I'm adding some of this dry chicken bouillon. I think that's going to take it over the top and make it taste just like what I'm looking for. A final taste here, and then I decide just to add some red pepper flakes for some heat, and we are calling this good. And now to just put the final touches on the fried rice, I have added just a bit of the dried chicken bouillon in this one as well, and a little bit of the sesame oil that gives it such a distinctive taste. And now just a little bit of the liquid aminos. It doesn't take a lot. These are all strong flavors. So I'm going to put these on, give it a stir, give it a taste, and we are probably just about where we need to be with the seasonings on this. This is how I always make my fried rice. I make a well in the center, and I add my egg. I have made fried rice a lot on my channel. If you go to my channel and go to the search bar and type in fried rice, you will find a lot of videos. I have been on quite a little fried rice kick, so I've just been making some here at home. Lastly, I have added in my peas and carrots, and we are ready to plate up. Check this out. So good. We have Asian bowls. One side is the chicken fried rice, and the other side is egg roll in a bowl. This was amazing. hope you have enjoyed taking a look at what we had to eat around here the last couple of weeks. If you have, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you've not, and come on back for the next one. I'll see you then, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.